Hello, people out there. Welcome to Seek Your Purpose podcast. I'm your host, Mayank Sara. While I was busy from last couple of months interacting with the amazing set of people and interviewing some of the purpose seekers that we are being surrounded by, I came across a story of a guest who is a big-time travel influencer. And his story made me realize the importance of one of the best life-changing experiences that I have had in my life at quite an early stage. But before I share that, if you haven't done so, hit that subscribe button so you never ever miss a notification every time we upload an episode. Today in this episode, we are going to talk about the term you might have heard a lot of time, especially if you are on social media. Solo travel or a solo trip. So for those who don't have any idea about what solo travel or a solo trip means, let me give you an insight. So there are basically two types of travel one might choose from. Either you travel with a group of people that could be your partner, your friends, family or colleagues, or you simply choose yourself a destination, pack your bags and set out on a solo expedition. Sounds easy, right? But it's not. Not at all easy and comfortable if you're doing it for the first time. So here's my story on that. For me, there was no such thing as a solo trip. I haven't even heard about it. Being the pampered child in the family, my recalling has always been of a family trip or a college trip with a group of friends. Having said that, I got a chance to cover a solo trip while I was on a foreign exchange. Actually, I was a foreign exchange student studying in the beautiful city of Rouen in France. It was a winter break in the year 2017 before my session was about to end in next 20 days. So these winter breaks varied from courses to courses over there. So the probability of my breaks coinciding with my friends' break were almost negligible. So while I was all about to set Netflix and chill in my room for the entire break, a friend of mine bummed up. He simply crashed into my place the following evening. So he himself, being an avid traveler, started sharing his anecdotes with me. I was so thrilled after listening to him that somehow it sparked a light in me to opt for a solo trip. I still remember my hands were shivering and I was feeling those nerve chills and goosebumps all over my body when he suggested to me to stop waiting for people to say yes and instead opt for a solo trip. A solo trip from France to Belgium all alone. That's approximately 400 kilometers, but these 400 are like 40,000 kilometers, especially if you haven't done something called a solo trip. And that too on a foreign land. I was scared, I was lost. So while thinking and imagining myself on such a trip all alone, my heart was really wrenching. Fear and anxiety, it grappled my mind all over. I was all set to say no to this, straight away no. The entire next day I was just pondering on the idea of what if I made it through? What if I made this daunting task a reality? What will be the level of self-confidence, freedom and feeling of aliveness be like? So after all those mind crunching and all, I made up my mind and started planning those 3-day trip. And I always lay importance on the planning part. I feel if you're planned and have assessed every possible situation, no one can beat you down. So having said that, I made up my mind and planned a budgeted trip. So here's my planning part for that. I researched a lot from all the places of must visit to the least visited places by tourists. Best possible mode of intercity travel to cover all these up. I started figuring out the expenses, accommodation, traveling, fooding and lodging part and came up with an estimated budget. I literally gave around 6 to 7 hours of researching and finally ended up with a travel plan, or I should say a travel itinerary. For the travel purpose, I opted for intercity coaches. For booking hostels, I refer hostel.com. For fooding and nearby excursion, TripAdvisors and Google reviews are the best. I carried on some few snacks and especially dry fruits and a handy bottle of water just to ensure, I don't spend much on these kind of things. So finally the day arrived. I woke up around 3 a.m. in the morning. I was too nervous, too anxious. I was still having those chill nerves and my hands were literally shivering. So finally the day arrived. I woke up in the morning at around 3 a.m. I was still confused. I was still, things were really baffling in my mind. I was literally I even thought of giving up. I thought, just let it be. Let's not do it. But again, there was something, or you can call it as a inner voice or inner sound, that was like, just go for it. Let's see. Jo hoga dekha jayega, chalte hain. So I had a bus to catch at 5 a.m. from Rouen City to Paris. I deboarded in Paris. So there was 6 a.m. bus straight away headed towards Brussels, the capital city of Belgium. During those hours of being on board, I was totally occupied with all the what if situations. Like, what if my passport got seized by border security forces out there? What if I was unable to explain my purpose of cross-country travel to them? What if I got robbed in between and left with no money? What will I do then? I don't even have a backup. What if I get along with the wrong group of company and ended up being a victim of fraud? What if I'm unable to reach my place or my country safely? And the worst one was, what if I suffered a health issue or maybe a food poisoning or something? So all these kind of issues roaming around my head again and again and again, and giving me every point of view. Every time the bus stops, I was like, just let it be, just go back. Just take a U-turn, just go back. So all these questions of self-doubt were coming up again and again and again and again. While my heart was beating like nothing, I was looking out around the beautiful panoramas and scenic beauty around me. And I started getting the feeling of, a sense of confidence arousing in me. The sense of confidence, or simply the confidence, was slowly and steadily building up. I started getting the idea of what it actually feels when we say, step out of a comfort zone and feel the newer version of yourself. Take that first step. Take that leap forward. So all these kind of affirmations were what hitting me straight away to my heart. So as someone said it beautifully, every change is difficult at first, messiest in the middle, but gorgeous at the end. So with that pumped up feeling in my mind and my heart, I was positive regarding the course of this trip and a never-ending life-learning experience that I'll be having and filling my entire life with. It's surely going to be a life-changing experience that I'm going to remember for years and years to come. So after 6 hours of long journey, the moment I arrived, I took a sigh of relief. Now the level of confidence was shooting up straight away. But suddenly I realized that my mobile network was lost and I couldn't figure out the way to my hostel. I was totally dependent on Google Maps and I was unable to figure out. I would say I was lost in between. I was failed to download the offline map of city. Now the feeling of anxiety, fear and all those what if situations, now they started rising up. I was feeling the panic, man. And then I realized, all these European cities, they do offer free Wi-Fi. So I immediately connected to the nearby Starbucks one and downloaded the map and finally reached my hostel. This was it. As I say, one good choice always leads to another. It was on. For the next 3 days, I traveled and explored around 56 places that were on and off my checklist. I traveled like a beshak, befikra and a bindas banda. A soul free of doubt, a soul free of worry and a free of fear. As if I was roaming in my own known land, my homeland. I was hell positive, interacting with people on my way, even opted for a Sunday man's day trip while roaming and exploring the city with a set of 20 unseen unknown people. And I ended up making some amazing friends whom I'm still in touch. The feeling of DIY, do it yourself, was even up the dopamine level, I would say. And the moment I successfully concluded my 3-day trip, now I tried recalling all those what ifs and what if nots. I was, kept on saying to myself again and again while I was on this trip, entire trip, every day. So let's talk about the why part. So now when I interact with people and share my experience and changes that, this solo trip actually brought in me, the common question that I face is the why part. Why should we travel? Why don't, we don't even have an adrenaline rush or we don't even have a purpose for that. So why should we travel like a solo Banjara type? Why should we travel like a solo nomad? I came to realize if you want to deal with the biggest negative emotion that we have in our mind, that is fear, you travel solo. You're having a feeling of self-doubt? Travel solo. You want to find the purpose of your life? Travel solo. Want to know your limitations and shortcomings? Just travel solo. Want to know what fears you the most? Travel solo. Want to have a rich, life-changing experience and a life-learning experience? Travel solo. You want to spend some time with yourself? Travel solo. You want to know yourself better than your spiritual forms? Travel solo. You want to find that so-called and much famous happiness mantra? Travel solo, man. You want to feel empowered and start life with an all new fresh perspective? Travel solo. Wanted to be the master of your own skills? Travel solo. You want to boost the level of self-confidence in you? Travel solo. Just dream it, plan it, execute it, and feel it. You'll definitely outlast your comfort zone. So solo travel actually gives you a chance to listen to your gut and control the direction you want to head in. It even allows you to recollect and reflect on your decisions and discover more about what makes you, you. So spending even a minimum time in solitude will allow you to embark on an inward journey of self-discovery. You don't even have to depend on someone else's schedule or timings. You don't have to adjust your likes and dislikes just to be in the good books of others. You aren't time bound here. Just travel wherever you wanted to. Just see as many places you wanted to. Just eat whatever you feel like grabbing a bite of. Make as many friends. Interact with many people as you want to. Just be the real version of yourself. Now the most important part, how we should plan it. So out of all my experience that I have, I came up around with 4 basic phenomena that you can literally get an idea if you try these. So first of all, if you want to build up that initial momentum with you, just start initially by exploring the city first. Your own city first. Get to know your city a bit better. Plan your days, your week offs or your leaves accordingly so that you can explore your surroundings and later you can literally guide others to do so. So first, get to know your city better. Secondly, if you have that initial sort of momentum or the confidence, then plan for day trips. So day trips to a nearby cities that are well connected and are well within that 300-kilometer radius of your hometown. Set out early in the morning, explore the area completely and return by the evening. You will get hands on the intercity modes of travel. That feeling of fear, that feeling of traveling all alone will surely gonna decrease smoothly. The next one will be like when you start gaining all those confidence, you just plan for a weekend getaway in advance to other states or other cities. Plan it well in advance so that you don't end up spending unwanted bucks out of your pocket. So depending upon one's interest, you can even opt for activities like hiking, trekking, camping, hitchhiking even. Just test your rush that you're having in your nerves. Even you can offer certain groups which allow individuals to join in and be a part of a troop who will be staying and exploring for next couple of days under proper guidance. So after experiencing number of solo travels now within your country, now you can plan for an international trip. Try opting for neighboring countries first, which are well connected with your country and sometimes usually offer some visa-free entries even also. Or you can search for your favorite city or country and plan an expedition well in advance to avoid any last-minute hassle. So get to know your surroundings first, then travel within the nearby areas, plan a day trip, then later on plan for a weekend getaway and finally plan for different states. And when you have that sort of confidence in you, that sort of momentum going on, you have trust on yourself, you have belief in yourself, then plan for an international trip. So there are various countries that offer visa-free entries or visa on arrival and you don't have to rush in and you don't have to spend money out of your pocket. Simply research well in advance just to get an idea where I want to head towards. So try developing your interest in exploring YouTube videos of travel influencers. My personal favorite is Varun Vagish. I'll share the link down below. I'm so much impressed with him that I even ended up planning certain solo trips that I don't even mention about. People don't know about these trips, but I do plan them. So choose your country of interest, search it on YouTube. Either you can copy the itineraries of these travel influencers or simply plan yourself on a similar ground. So join communities like Tripoto to read about the experiences and travel stories of native travelers just like you. So later you can share your experience and create your own fan base there, and you never know, you end up even monetizing your blog over there. So it's all about the feeling of being in an unknown country, in an unknown city, amid the unknown people without the sense of judgment and pre-mindset. You can be truly you. You can be true to yourself. No one is watching you. No one is judging you. You can actually free yourself from all the limitations that you have in your mind. Just travel, just eat, roam, wander and stay wherever you want to. Date yourself. Spend some time with yourself. Get to know yourself a bit better. Have that self-introspection while feeling. And I would say solo trip is the perfect example of having a me time that we all, lack in our lifetime. So the next time you become inspired to go on a solo trip, you can find a friend to go with. Just do yourself a favor. Book it. Just simply go and click that book button and, just spend the time with you yourself. And then you'll get great confidence, great emotion that being running all around you. And when you will share this experience with a lot of people, now people will get inspired, actually motivating someone else to travel and explore their self a bit better. So that's what I've got for today's episode. If you love this episode, do share it with your loved ones. If you're on Instagram, then take a screenshot of the episode and share it on your stories and tag me at Mayank Sehra, MAYANKSEHRA. I really appreciate you for this. So step out, follow your instinct and seek the purpose you are destined to, my friend. I'll see you in the next episode. Cheers.